what they have done. To be more clear, George W. Bush and also President Obama. So we've been.
One did let his donors come to the briefing room to speak to us.
Okay, and we know what that last president said from this briefing room. Okay, so
and
only did three or four paragraphs. Very different approach.
Did you hear what that reporter said to White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre during the press briefing on Monday? It was such a mask-off moment where the reporter said, the last president, Donald Trump, came to the briefing room to speak to us, to which White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said, okay. And we know what the last president said from this briefing room. Okay, yeah. Donald Trump said he wouldn't agree to a peaceful transition of power. Donald Trump said that we should inject ourselves with bleach. He said like a miracle, COVID was just going to magically go away. He bragged about the ratings that he was getting from his press briefings while Americans were dying in mass. And that's what the press wants. Wasn't that such a mask-off moment? And that's why they hate President Biden, because President Biden's just getting the job done. There's no drama, no all caps tweets every morning that the press loves to eat up. It's no drama when it comes to President Biden, and that pisses the press off. Here's a moment from that press briefing as well where Karine Jean-Pierre says, look, the questions that you're asking, your behavior right now, corporate media, it's entirely inappropriate. Watch this.
And so it is comprehensive. It is out there. I just read a quote from it, but I am not going to devolve somebody's name or confirm someone. I'm not going to do that. That is as privacy for that person. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me from here. I'm just not going to do that. It is inappropriate. It is not acceptable. So I'm not.
And their behavior was entirely inappropriate. And what they want, what they've been trying to normalize for 3.5 years, but we, the people, are rejecting it more if you consider the time when Trump was actually in office, disgracing it, or when he went down the golden escalator and started his fake golden escalator and started his first speech by attacking immigrants. They tried to normalize that because for corporate media, this was all good for business. Our lives, we, the people, be damned. Because here's what Donald Trump was saying in the press briefing room. And this is what the press was whining about that they want more of. This is the type of stuff that they want to see. When Trump suggested irradiating people's bodies with UV lights or ejecting them with disinfectant, bleach, Clorox, Lysol to deal with COVID-19. Play the clip.
Thank you very much. So I asked Bill a question that probably some of you are thinking of if you're totally into that world, which I find to be very interesting. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful.
Or how about this? 4 years ago, when Americans were dying from Trump's failed pandemic response, he went on to TV to brag about his press briefing ratings. Play this clip.
See you tomorrow. Is that okay? Don't say that I cut it short. They'll say he. That's right. It could be almost tomorrow. But you know what? In the meantime, I'm sure people are enjoying it. No, I will say this. It's an incredibly dark topic, an incredibly horrible topic, and it's incredibly interesting. That's why everybody is, they're going crazy. They can't get enough of it, and they want to be.
Oh, and the media loved when Donald Trump said this, because the media loves being treated like crap. Don't they realize that when Trump says they're the enemy of the people, they're the first that's going to go? that they're the first that he's going to take over? Or are they so privileged that they think that they're the ones who are going to thrive in the Trump oligarchy and the Trump fascist regime? I think that they're so delusional and feel so privileged that they think that they're the ones who are going to get all the money and they're going to benefit. Here is Peter Alexander from NBC asking Donald Trump, look, what do you say to the American people who are terrified right now about COVID, who are scared? What do you say? Watch what Donald Trump said. Play the clip.
What the hell do you have to lose? Okay?
So what do you say to Americans? Are nearly 200. I'll spell up.
John, go ahead.
Dead. What do you say to the Americans who are scared, though? I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witness, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. Go ahead. I think it's a very nasty question, and I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people. The American people are looking for answers, and they're looking for hope. And you're doing sensationalism, and the same with NBC and Comcast. I don't call it Comcast. I call it Concast. Let me just for whom you work. Let me just say something. That's really bad reporting. And you ought to get back to reporting instead of sensationalism. Let's see if it works. It might and it might not. I happen to feel good about it, but who knows? I've been right a lot. Let's see what happens, John.
Or perhaps the media wants more press briefings like this, like the one with Mike Pompeo, who was Trump's Secretary of State, who was asked if there's going to be a smooth transition of power. And he said, there isn't going to be a transition of power. Here, play this clip.
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. All right, we're ready. The world is watching what's taking place here. We're going to count all the votes. When the process is complete, there'll be electors selected. There's a process. The Constitution lays it out pretty clearly. The world should have every confidence that the transition necessary to make sure that the State Department is functional today, successful today, and successful with the president who's in office on January 20th, a mid-afternoon, will also be successful. I went through a transition on the front, and I've been on the other side of this. I'm very confident that we will do all the things that are necessary to make sure that the government, the United States government, will continue to perform its national security function as we go forward.
So you believe there's widespread voter fraud, that the reports that we're getting from Pennsylvania, from Michigan, showing vote totals in massive leads or significant leads with 99% reporting are going to be overturned, and that the United States failed to conduct a fraudulent free election?
Rich, I'm the Secretary of State. I'm getting calls from all across the world. These people are watching our election. They understand that we have a legal process. They understand that this takes time, right? It took us 37 plus days in an election back in 2000, conducted a successful transition then. I'm very confident that we will count, and we must count every legal vote. We must make sure that any vote that wasn't lawful ought not be counted. That dilutes your vote if it's done improperly. Got to get that right. When we get it right, we'll get it right. We're in good shape.
Or how about when Trump was asked that question? Will you commit to a peaceful transition of power? Play the clip.
Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
I understand that, but people are rioting. Do you commit to making sure that there's a peaceful transferal of power?
We want to get rid of the ballots, and you'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly. There'll be a continuation. The ballots are out of control. You know it. And you know who knows it better than anybody else? The Democrats know it better than anybody else. Go ahead.
Right? The press loved that. They ate that up. That's the drama, the theater, the ratings that they want. You know the ratings that I care about? The ratings I care about is the economy. Is the economy doing better now than it was under Donald Trump? Substantially so. Are there more jobs created now? Substantially so. Donald Trump added trillions to the deficit. President Biden continues to build with infrastructure, 40,000 infrastructure projects. Remember when the media, every time under Trump, when the stock market would go up just a little, another great day at the stock market, that means everyone's doing great. First off, the stock market is not an indicator for how we, the people, are doing. But if you want to even go there, it's like double right now under President Biden than it was under Donald Trump. And meanwhile, unemployment's at record lows. Job growth is at record highs. Wages are increasing at record pace. The GDP right now in the United States is growing faster than China or any G7 nation. Oh, Trump and the MAGAs, drill baby drill. More domestic drilling taking place right now in these United States of America than in the history of mankind and in the history of any nation. And President Biden still leading the world right now in climate change efforts while drilling at the same time. I mean, come on. Those are the stats and ratings that I care about. But here's what the media doesn't like. The media feels that when you have a successful, intelligent press secretary like Karine Jean-Pierre answering questions, they don't like that. So watch what happens at the end of this press briefing. Play this clip.
That he gets every year that we provide to all of you.
It's a very basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a
Not
second.
what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no.
Reporting about it.
No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist. So that is answering that question.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. You're
Dr.
asking me.
Kevin Kennard, come to the White House.
But I also said to you, Ed, I also said to you, for security reasons, we cannot share names. We cannot share names.
You cannot
We
share
have to
names
we have
of
to
others he would have met with.
we
But
cannot-
you can share names in regards to if someone came here in regards to the president.
We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have to protect.
It's public.
I understand that. I hear
It's
you.
right there for anyone to see.
Ed, I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy. I think they would appreciate that too. We have to give them.
Question of the doctor.
We have to keep their privacy.
It is
It's
public.
public information.
I hear you.
listed that he
I
went
am.
to
And you're not allowed this to fester
guys,
longer, Kareem, unless the White House answers the
hold on a
question.
second. There's no reason to go back and forth with me in this
We are
aggressive
little
way.
miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps about him.
What are you missed about? What are you missed
Everything
about?
he just asked about.
And then every time I come back and I answer the question that you guys
answered it
asked.
correctly, you didn't have to come back and clean it
I
up
never
2 minutes
answered the
later.
question incorrectly. That is not true. I was asked about a medical exam. I was asked about a physical. That was in the line of question that I answered.
And by the way, kudos to Karine Jean-Pierre in how she handled herself there against these hyenas in the press. These hyenas out for blood who would sacrifice our democracy yesterday for Donald Trump. Where's this energy when Donald Trump was found liable for sexually assaulting a woman? Not a peep. Where was this energy when Donald Trump was a convicted felon? Not a peep when Trump was found liable for fraud. Not a peep when Trump led an insurrection. Not a peep. Silence, silence, silence. And it's not just media. Silence is complicity. Complicity is complicity. They're more than just silent. They are agents of fascism right now. That's how they are behaving. Whether they recognize it or not, perhaps they need to look in a freaking mirror. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Keep working for our democracy. Democracy will prevail.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.